Hello again, I'm Sophie, and I'm documenting my journey through dementia with my parents. So, I wanted to tell you a little bit more today about my parents and exactly what their issues are. So, my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2018, just a little over a year ago, March 2018. I'll never forget the day she was diagnosed. She is 75 years old. We started suspecting there was a big problem when she was 70. So that's bad, yeah, a bit over 5 years ago. But she only really started having tests and investigations about 18 months ago. Well, yeah, maybe even 2 years ago, when she was roughly 74. She started, yeah, hearing what we were saying, which was something is wrong. And she started to go and see doctors. And eventually, the diagnosis came through in March 2018. My father, he has a form of vascular dementia, we think. He hasn't been formally diagnosed. Um, just to give you a bit of the context, my parents divorced in 1981. They don't live together. So my mother is remarried and my father lives alone across the road from where I live. Um, my father spent many years living abroad, nearly 20 years he lived in the States. And in 2013, he had a stroke. He still stayed in the States for 3 years after the stroke, but in 2016, the only friend he had who was looking after him a little bit in the United States, she got in touch with us and said, your father is not really safe here anymore. He's not getting the care, the level of care that he needs, and he doesn't have the money to pay for better care. So he needs to come back to Switzerland, which is where we live. So in September 2016, my father was basically sent back to us here in Switzerland. And well, that's a long story. I should maybe tell you another time. But to cut a long story short, we basically had to settle him back here and really start looking after him. He combines lots of neurological issues, I would say. First, he has a psychiatric diagnosis of he has bipolar disorder. He always has had it, but he's always managed to live with his bipolar disorder. But of course, that doesn't help, I think, with his mental balance. The stroke left him slightly disabled physically. He does find it difficult to walk. His left side is weaker than his right side. But so far, he has been able to walk enough that he can live on his own. He walks with a walker, but it's okay. um, and he he finds it difficult to read. He finds it difficult to. He can still type. He finds it very difficult to write. He still talks completely coherently, but in him, the dementia aspect is quite noticeable in the sense that he'll have sudden moments of big confusion. So he will suddenly call me in the middle of the night and think it's the day. He will suddenly think, for instance, that America and Switzerland are on the same continent and forget that, we are very far away from each other. He'll suddenly, yeah, have big moments of confusion. And the striking thing with him is that it's very variable. So some days he'll be absolutely fine, and an average person would think this is a man who's completely, yeah, I mean, he's a bit old, but there you go. um, he's perfectly well orientated, and he knows what's going on, and then within an hour it can change, and he can have a lot of confusion. But anyway, I won't go into too many details about him just now. He's 76 years old, and so far he lives alone, as I said, across the road from us, and he has daycare. uh, People come in daily to check up on him. On top of me, there are health carers who come in. One comes in the morning, one comes in the evening, to help him get dressed, give him his medication, make sure he's safe. And that's it. That's the basic situation. So I'll see you in another video, and I'll tell you a little bit more about myself and our family. Bye.